Welcome. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dan Gridley, the senior partner here at Cherry Avenue. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you'll find it interesting and informative, and hopefully you'll come away with some ideas for funding your business in a post-COVID-19, post-stimulus world, especially as we begin reopening our economy. Before we get started, I'll just tell you a little bit about us. Cherry Avenue is an accounting and tax firm. We've been around for over 30 years in various forms and names, but we've been providing tax, accounting, and financial advisory services to both individuals and small businesses for a long time. So we try to be a real valuable resources to our clients, and hopefully we help them make more money than what they spend on accounting fees. But overall, we just try to be a valuable resource and make your life a whole lot easier. So that's a little bit about us. So let's get started here. So, what options are available to get working capital as we move forward here? The PPP loans are pretty much dried up now. It's tough to get an SBA loan. A lot of people think there's really nowhere to turn, but there's a whole lot of things that you can do, and we want to make sure that you don't miss all of these. So the first thing we think you ought to do is take a review of your 2017, 18, and 19 tax returns, both your personal and business returns. What you want to be looking for are missed tax deductions and maybe missed tax credits, things that would generate a refund that you could file an amended tax return for. These amended tax returns will, put cash in your pocket as soon as they're processed and sent to you. So the second thing after you've done that is take a look and see if you have net operating losses. If you have any for 2017, 18, or 19, the CARES Act changed the rules and allows those losses to be carried back up to 5 years. So if you have taxes in those back years, you can carry those losses to those and generate refunds that we can file a claim for. Here's the kicker. Don't miss out on the fact that there's an expedited carryback process, but the deadline to file for those is June 30th of 2020. So we want to get on top of this and take a look at these and see if we can generate some cash by filing these refund claims from these NOLs. Next, we think that you should take a look at your payroll tax records, right? So we're looking at payroll post April 1st, 2020. The reason is that the CARES Act has brought in some refundable payroll credits. So if you have people that had been paid under the sick leave, family leave, you're allowed to get credits for those. Under the sick leave, you can get credit for up to $5,110 per employee for people that have been paid for sick time, and people that have been off on the family leave, you can get up to an additional $2,000 per employee in credit. And then finally, there's this employee retention credit, and basically you can get another $5,000 per employee based on payroll that's being paid to them between April 1st and the end of the year. So you want to make sure that you're taking a look at whether those credits apply and if you can get any money. Now remember, these are refundable credits. So what happens is we calculate out each pay period, each month, each quarter, whatever period you want to take a look at here. And we get to offset our payroll tax deposit with any credits. And then if there's credits that are in excess of that, you can file a form 7200, to claim an advance of those anticipated excess credits. You can file that basically as many times during the quarter as you qualify for these credits, and based basically on your payroll tax deposit dates. So it's a nice little credit, a nice way to generate some working capital. The IRS says that they'll refund these credits receiving your Form 7200. So we definitely want to take a look at those and see which ones apply. And then also the CARES Act allows us to defer the employer's portion of Social Security taxes for 2020. Those would be paid half in December of 2021 and the other half December of 2022. If you make both payments when they're due, there's no penalties, no interest. It's just a pure deferral. So we can couple the credits and the deferrals and actually free up quite a bit of cash flow that way. All of these credits, incidentally, run from April 1st, basically, through the end of 2020. So there's a few other things, a few other areas to take a look at that, you know, we don't want to miss out on. So first thing is, if you have cash value life insurance policies, you might want to take a look at those. If there's any cash value in there, you might be able to borrow that money out or surrender the policy and free up that cash flow. It's a good way to make use of that money. If you borrow it out, you can pay yourself back into the policy and keep it alive. But I would just caution you that before you take any action with any life insurance policy, you want to make sure you talk to some competent advisors. Make sure that there's no adverse tax or other consequences to surrendering or borrowing the monies out. Second area is that I want to talk about here is a loan. Now remember, we talked about credits before, or maybe taking a look at your tax returns. That's money that doesn't have to get paid back. But here we're going to talk about a loan. So obviously it's going to be paid back. The SBA has an emergency loan program. Currently, it's not been funded, and they're waiting additional appropriations. So you can't apply for these right now. But if you check with the SBA's website, they'll let you know when you can make an application. These loans, they can be for up to like $2 million. They are loans. They do carry a favorable interest rate. The SBA will basically come up with a repayment period that they believe, based on your circumstances, will work for you. If you qualify to make an application, you want to remember to also go to the webpage that allows you to apply for the grant. Once you've got a successful application in, you can make a grant. They will send you up to $10,000. They'll determine the dollar amount, but this is grant money. It does not have to be repaid. So even if you were to get the emergency loan, if they offered it to you and you decided to turn it down but gave you the grant money, you'd still get to keep the grant money. You don't have to pay that back. So that's a kind of a nice little freebie there if you can get on there and apply for that. You can always also go to your bank, although I'm going to assume that most of everybody that's watching this probably is either been to their bank or doesn't have collateral or something to be able to get a loan from the bank. So that being said, there are other alternative lenders that are not your bank that you can use. Generally, these lenders will provide loans based on your weekly or monthly or daily cash flow. So if you've been in business for a while and you actually do make cash flow every day to some extent, these lenders will lend you money on that. The repayment of these is generally over a fairly short term, and usually the repayment involves a daily, weekly, or monthly payment, and usually it's a daily or weekly. So you make a lot of small payments to get this loan paid off fairly quickly. But it can be a nice alternative to going to a bank. And again, this is money that you borrow and does have to be repaid. Obviously, other monies like the grants and tax credits and so forth, money that doesn't have to be repaid is probably always better than money that does have to be repaid. But as we kind of go through these alternatives, sometimes we get to the point where all that's left are loans. So that's one area that you can also take a look at. If you would like to know some more information about that, we'd be happy to talk to you about that. You could just contact us at the end. We'll have some contact information for you here. The CARES Act also has provisions that have eased the rules for withdrawing money from retirement plans. This applies to withdrawals in 2020. So some of the things they did was they've eliminated the early withdrawal penalties if it's a COVID-19 related withdrawal. Also, they've increased the amount that you can borrow out of 401k plans, and they've eased the payback periods for those loans, so it made them a little bit longer and easier to hit. We definitely recommend that retirement plan withdrawals should only be done very thoughtfully, very cautiously, and as a last resort, and definitely only with the counsel of a competent advisor. Make sure that you understand all of the different tax implications of this before you enter into these transactions. And just, remember that most financial advisors would generally advise against borrowing money out of retirement plans to fund your business. And then finally, one last thing I want to talk about are self-employed individuals, contractors, the so-called gig workers, et cetera. The unemployment benefits are now going to be made available for self-employeds and contractors. For Illinois residents, the state is set to begin taking applications on May 11th of 2020. You do that by going to the IDES website. It's ides.illinois.gov. It's the Illinois Department of Employment Security. They're recommending that you go there now and apply for benefits, knowing that your application will actually be rejected. They say that they need that rejection in order to qualify you for the self-employed benefits. Those benefits, if you do that, you will automatically be entered for application on May 11th, 2020. So it's a good idea to get over there and get that application and go ahead and get that rejection. The benefits that you're going to get, whatever the benefits that they calculate for you under a normal circumstance, plus $600 per week. These benefits are going to be retroactive to April 1st of 2020. And the benefits will extend for about 26 weeks total. But until July 31st of 2020, they'll include that extra $600 payment. So if you are a 1099 employee or whatever, you definitely want to get in on this if at all possible. So make sure you get over to that website. And again, if you have questions, you can definitely contact us. So I hope that you found at least some of this informative, maybe hope gives you some ideas of things that you can do to get yourself some funding as you try to get reopened, or if you've been open to, continue moving on here. I know working capital is going to be a big issue for a lot of small businesses here as we move forward. We welcome any questions that you have. And just remember, everybody's got, their own different specifics, facts and circumstances. So if you'd like to talk a little bit about yours, we'd be more than happy to talk to you. We'd love to, give you a free consultation, help you maybe start to come up with a plan of how you're going to, get your working capital taken care of. So you can contact us by email. It's on the screen, cherryavenuetax@gmail.com. You can phone us. Our phone is 847-997-0544. And please, feel free to visit our website, cherryavenuetax.com. And if you think that you know anybody or have friends or relatives that have small businesses that might benefit from some of this information, please feel free to pass this information along to them. So again, thank you for taking the time here, and look forward to talking to you.